All right. Well, starting off with some talk of lag issues. He's had to go around the house yelling at his family to turn off all their internet and make sure they're not lagging it. We've got Kaisi Gaming's REYNOR. His family has moved out into the middle of nowhere in Italy. Apparently, they recently moved to like a country town or something like that. And he hasn't been too happy with the internet. So unfortunately, we haven't been able to run his camera, as even without the camera on, apparently he's got some spikes and lag happening. He's up against the Chinese beast. This man had an amazing run, first place in his group. And by golly, sometimes you get punished for having an amazing run in the groups, because REYNOR, he struggled to get through his group, and he got second place, hence Time matching with him here. Time representing... actually, wait, are Time and REYNOR teammates? Are they both on Kaisi? Oh my gosh. Is this a teammate match? I feel like Time did join Kaisi. Let me double check that one really quickly as we get into this. This is a 6 Zergling opening for REYNOR, so it's going to be a pretty heavy pressure opening. Reaper opening. It's going to send the SCV scout, so he will play quite safely. And indeed, he is indeed on Kaisi Gaming. Yes. Command center going up on the natural. Looks like 2 lings show themselves, the other 4 hide. I'm laughing because there's people in Twitch chat calling REYNOR a rat kid, and I don't even know what that means, but I like it. Reaper going out. Ooh, barely doesn't see the Zerglings. Actually, no, they changed path to the right side. Clever movement there by Time. Command center coming up on the natural. Time is going to get back. He's going to play it cautiously, as he should. As long as his Reaper's at home, this is a win for him in the opening stage. Just defending, playing conservatively, making sure you don't give him an opening to cancel that command center or slow it down. Only 1 gas so far, which means we are going to see a 3rd command center going down right about now. 2 minutes 40, nice and tight. So a big macro opening for Time. Now, for those who don't know, we've gone to the EU server, Central European server. I have 250 MS. These players, though, guess what? Time actually only has 120 ping to EU from China. So he's actually opted to play there. I assumed we'd be alternating US West and Central. And we'd even flipped a coin for it. REYNOR had won that coin flip. It was going to be Central US server, then US West, alternating. And basically, Time was like, dude, I'd rather play EU. I only have 120 ping. I don't care if you have next to no ping and it gives you a big advantage. So REYNOR's going to have a big home field advantage here. Time says, I would rather play with a pretty smooth connection and be about 50, 80 ping behind than play with equal footing with both of us on 150. And I think as a Terran player especially, that does make sense. 120 is very playable. I think there's a big gap between 100, 120 ping and 160, 170 ping. Much more fancy micro you can do. Your starter step should be pretty smooth. And if he's used to practicing it, which we know he is, because Time's had a lot of deep runs in the EU weeklies, making the semis and the finals a bunch of times in the last few months, he should be very well practiced against it. He's been taking down top European players a lot lately. I think he even had a 3-2 grand finals versus REYNOR in one of those weeklies, maybe 2-3 months back. 2nd and 3rd barracks are coming down. Expect the double engineering bay to go down any moment now. Interesting that he hasn't walled off until only now, but actually that makes sense. The 3rd command center, of course, is basically a super depot. Does give you 15 extra supply. Now REYNOR, he's up to 4 queens, 3 more on the way. How many active tumors has he got so far? He's going to spread it along the edge of his main. Very important on this map. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now REYNOR, of course, fresh in his mind is, I think, maybe not that fresh. I guess it's been a little hot minute, but the defeat to Clem in the grand finals, the EU regionals, where he really gave Clem a bit too much room to just dictate the pace of the games. And I don't think he's going to make the same mistake against Time. Time, if you let him control the pace, he is a fantastic multitasker. His macro is clean. His positioning is excellent. He's a little gas shy right now, though. Not enough gas to start that +1 armor upgrade. Hopefully he notices that, because those upgrades super important to allow your Marines to punch on with the Zerglings. If you don't have the armor, Zerglings are going to rip you down pretty quickly. And he does notice and upgrades it at a pretty clean timing, so not bad at all. He's going to float that 3rd command center down. As the natural saturated, should be rallying everything over there. And double Evo chamber. So REYNOR here actually not really scouting that hard. He knows it's 3 command center because his overlord saw how late the depot started. He's trying to send lings in to confirm what the follow-up is. And he should be able to see that it's a bio follow-up. Yeah. Very nice play by REYNOR. He's going to delay the lair and the Baneling Nest a lot, but he's going to have really good upgrade timings. This is one of the greedier Zerg openings out there. Dark likes to start off series with this as well. He did this double upgrade rush the first 2 games in a row versus Maru at Valencia Grand Finals. I think he might have even rushed the upgrades even earlier than this, but it led to a brutal 1-1 timing that he was able to do. REYNOR's Overlord is exposed, and Time will commit to that. He's going to boost his Medivacs down to make sure he can kill that. This could be the beginnings of an epic ZVT. For those who don't know, though, historically, REYNOR has got the better of him. In the early days, it was a bit more back and forth, but in the last few years, REYNOR has a dominating win record versus Time. And let's be real, that's REYNOR versus most Terran players. This is not because Time's bad in the matchup, it's because Time is a Terran player. And if you're a Terran player whose name isn't Maru, REYNOR has a dominating win record versus you. That simply is the nature of how StarCraft 2 works. Nice spore coverage in the main. Going to make it a bit hard to drop in there. He can go along the edges. That, of course, exposes you a little more to the queens. 9 queens, Massling Bane. Oh, REYNOR with a big Ling Wave over here. He's going to go for a giant surround. Time a little too slow to respond. The Hellions get surrounded. The Marines will do okay. He's going to shove in the front at the same time. Gets an Overlord, does just pick up. He's going to rotate into the main, but the Spore Crawler there is going to make this a costly maneuver. And that Queen, can it finish the Medivac? It can! Gets it with 1 Marine still inside. That's a lot of drones. If he gets on top of those drones, that would be huge. He's going to go for the Baneling Nest. Not a bad play. Baneling speed gets cancelled there. And he's going to start parading across the map. Saves 8 of the Marines. Unfortunately for him, does not get any of the drones. 66 drones versus 68 SCVs. 5 barracks biomine parading across. 2nd factory and 4th command center going to set him up for the long game. 2 Waddley boys come in. Nice moves there by REYNOR. 7 SCVs, even though Time spots it. And look at that. REYNOR is always a 1-2 boy. He never attacks in just one area at once. He always, if he's doing a run by, he attacks you on the front. He wants to pull your eyeballs here, there, and everywhere. So you're never looking in the right place at the right time. Big Ling run by getting ready. Time, he wants to just be pushing. He wants to put REYNOR on the defensive. REYNOR, though, like I said, he's not going to make that mistake he made against Clem. That was a really harsh lesson, losing that grand finals from up 3-0. He was not happy about that. Here we go. Time should get the depot up. He does, and he's going to have to pull his whole army home, though. Depots will get torn down on the natural, and a few SCVs could go down. This is all buying a lot of moments. Oh! Cancels the 4th as well. That depot's going to burn down. Time is struggling to get his momentum going, and this is the joy of playing against REYNOR. He is just all over the place running in. On the other hand, look at the supply. Look at the worker count. REYNOR may be playing a high worker count style. But if Time realizes this, he can realize there's actually no pressure on him. Look at all these Banelings morphing on the front. He needs to just set up really solid on the defense. Sure, have a double drop poking around, but REYNOR is not that far ahead on the workers or the tech. You can absolutely slow things down and play a longer game, but Time didn't notice the Banelings morphing in the top. Otherwise, there's no way he would be moving out here. Once again, his 4th command center building way exposed. The Banelings going into the mineral line in the bottom side. The Marines do pick up. Very nice hot pickup, but Banelings in the 3rd mineral line go boom, boom. The Lings in the natural getting ravaging kills all over those SCVs. Time trying to get some momentum. But REYNOR learning a lesson from Dark. He says, I am just not going to let you go first. I am going to set a pace for this series, which is unrelenting. I will be picking where and when the fights happen, not you, buddy. And Zerg vs. Terran is a matchup. If you're the one who picks when to fight, where to fight, it is going to go so much better for you. REYNOR realizing this is one of the best ways to start a series psychologically in Zerg vs. Terran. Beautiful play. A genius way to open up a series. Dark showed how good that is versus Maru at Valencia. Just get the double upgrades, be a little bit greedy. If you think your opponent's going to play a conservative game 1, great way to start the series off. A little bit of a gamble on your opening, and then just throw wave after wave of aggression at them. Great way to play it for REYNOR. His teammate Kaiser Gaming's Toym down here in the bottom left side. It's a better map for Time, though, to be fair. Even though Data C is pretty good, I think REYNOR's happy to play that map, whereas this map, you've got some beautiful tank pushes. We've seen tanks wedge themselves in behind these rocks down here. We've seen, of course, tanks here behind this bridge in these little corners and crevices. 2-base tank push, something which, of course, has laid claim to a lot of REYNOR's, points lately. And fascinatingly, he goes gas pool. lot of people do open Proxy Reaper or Proxy Marine on this map. This would be a great opening against that. It also can give him the opportunity to Ling Flood. Hatchery goes down there. Not the fastest hatchery by any means. Got a Marine on the way. It's just Marine first, which means we're going to see a very quick factory for time while still getting a good expansion timing. Overlord coming down. Doesn't really have a pillar to hide on this map. So if the Marine goes straight out to it, he absolutely could force the Overlord to the right side. That Overlord's coming pretty deep. So time should go out now. I think this is the perfect moment where it's the furthest from that pillar that it's going to be, basically. But he doesn't. I guess he doesn't want to show the fact that he's gone Marine instead of Reaper. Interesting. 2 Lings coming forward for REYNOR. Luckily, for time, it's only 2. A Marine can beat 2 Zerglings with good enough attention and micro. Roach Warren comes... Oh, REYNOR's going all in. REYNOR is trying to speed run this series right now, guys. Much like Dark, silly, weird, loose all-ins, all sorts of crazy builds. Hard to predict. That's how REYNOR plays. He's going to go for a Ravager Speedling all-in. So he's going to go for probably only 3 or 4 Roaches, but he's going to try to turn them all into Ravagers, and he's going to do nothing but Speedlings in behind it. Time, he'll have a Hellion out, and he will start pumping Marines very early, though. That's going to give him some good numbers, but I do worry if those early Marines get surrounded by a Ling Flood or something like that. Roach Warren's finishing up. Look at that. He's got so much money. 5, 6 Roaches on the way. And as Ling Speed finishes, do you think he runs these 6 Lings in? He might. But with 3 Marines there and a Hellion, time should be solid against it. Oh, man. He's not building a tech lab. He's almost certainly going to go for a medevac his time with this build. And then also swap the factory over onto the reactor. Neither of which really helps that much against 7 Roaches. He'll have enough gas to get 2 of them into Ravagers by the time the push arrives. Ooh, Hellions come out at the perfect time. Good reaction. But he's going to continue forward. No, he thinks about it. Okay, time's got to realize something's up. I don't know if he senses it or not, but definitely the way those Lings were hanging out and Ling Speed's already done. He's going to go Fusion Core. That is not going to help you right now. He needs to build more defensive units. Those Marines need to get back. The medevac's not out. The Lings and the Roaches are going to come in. Run time. Run. A crazy all-in attack from REYNOR, trying to punish a player who did not scout. Oh, no. You cannot afford to lose these Marines. The Marines getting surrounded. Yes, some Zerglings go down, but the Marines are some of the most important firepower in this scenario. The Roach gets focused, but look, he just turns it into a Ravager. Disgusting. The Ravager finally goes down, but not before so much damage is landed on the Marines and the Hellions. A Widowmine's trying to come out along with a Liberator and more Marines. A Bile goes down on one of those Marines. REYNOR playing a vicious style of StarCraft right now. I think he has a good understanding of how Time wants to play this series, and he is looking to counter it as hard as he can. SCVs with the repair looking really nice. It's only 19 workers. If you can hold on with any economy at all, you might be able to fight back Time. But dude, he's down to just 2 Hellions. And those Hellions need to kill those Zerglings. But, oh my god, the reactor's going to go down. The Zerglings do take some big hits. The Hellions will do what they can. But there we go. Marines in the medevac do okay. Nice focus fire with the Zerglings. Does take down one of those units. Looks like the attack has been held for now. But REYNOR still holding down the Roach Linky. Maybe doing that for far too long. It's equal workers on both sides. The Marines and the Hellion can move out without medevac to potentially counter pressure. He's got to be careful, though. Oh, he's going to go across the map with a drop. But REYNOR's pulling home. He spots a Ravager morphing there. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Banshee and a Hellion on the way. I mean, I guess he just lifts the command center. You're not really going to be able to breach the ramp with a single Ravager and a pack of Zerglings. And the Marine Hellion drop could do well. He's only on 23 drones. So I don't think this was a success. There's even a battlecruiser on the way. Well, guys, he's on 2 Queens. He's building nothing but Lings and Ravagers. I don't think he can handle the BC, but Time! Do not lose this! Oh, okay. Oh, good micro, but not quite good enough. Okay, gets a Ravager, gets a Queen. Command Center is lifted right now. Sorry, guys, I don't know what the hell I just clicked on. That was a weird menu. Liberator did come in, didn't get any kills. It's just going to pull out for now. And you know what? You see a player who's on 2 base, you got to feel good about this as Time. Just back off, get home, and do not die. REYNOR right now is building a 2nd Queen. He is building Lings. He is now going back to droning. Fast and loose and fluid and weird and a little bit silly and jiggly. That's what I would call REYNOR's build, guys. Because what is he doing? He's going back to droning on what? 28 drones? But he's still building some roaches? But he's still droning? Is he attacking? Is he defending? What he's about to do is dying, guys. He doesn't have a sport. The battlecruiser will 100% win this game. Time is not going to be going down to a 3-0 speed run, guys. REYNOR, you might as well just tap out right now. That BC is going to win the game. The Ling Ravager will run in. Oh, okay. Well, maybe I called it too soon. I guess if he could get a base trade going, maybe? Oh, the Medevac does go down, but no, the Lings are getting owned. That's a hold on the ramp. The battlecruiser on the other side of the map at this point was probably up to about 12 kills. And Time gets a bunch of Marines surrounded. Had no idea this was coming. Attempted blind counter victory, but instead we find ourselves on a 1-1. And as the host and caster of this tournament, I'm very happy. Right, he ain't going down without a fight. He's going to open up game 2 with a proxy barracks. It's Time. On the top right side, reppin' Kaisi Gaming. And this is a proxy Reaper opening. So this is a real funky build order, guys. It's a very cool one. His opponent, REYNOR, in the bottom left, going to go for that 16 hatch smack bang, 49 seconds. Not bad. So I really don't know how this build works. I feel like it's probably 2 Reapers, factory at home before expand, but no second gas. Okay, so I think it's still 2 Reapers just to get a bit of damage and try to maybe deny the third using the SCV plus the Reaper. So maybe the aim is to deny the third base, yeah. And then behind it, you'll just expand, probably on the high ground with the command center, build the factory behind the wall. Problem is, of course, you have to build the reactor with the factory. So your Hellion production will be slowed down, your barracks will have to float home. It's gonna be very costly. Reaper is there. Overlord's gonna see a very sneaky SCV angle. And he's going to immediately pull a drone or 2. That's what I'd do, but no, he doesn't. Bunker's going to go up at the front. Time's trying to bait him to pull a whole bunch of workers out. He's like, look at me, I'm proxy barracksing you, there's going to be Marines. So REYNOR pulling a ton of workers. I mean, they can still just mine from the natural, so it's not the end of the world. Oh, one of the drones gets stuck. Oh, look, one of his drones bugged out on the bottom of the ramp. That's kind of hilarious. The SCV just needs to get out of there now. There's no way he'll finish that. And the Reaper comes in and is like, hey, I tricked ya. He's putting a command center at home at the normal time. His factory goes down. Barracks is floating him. It's just a single Reaper. Oh, this is a real tricky opening. I like this build for Time. This is actually quite annoying. 2 Lings will go across the map, though. REYNOR, I think, has figured out the secret detail that's missing from this build. Time has no units at home. Those 2 Lings are going to kill his SCV on the command center, and he's going to be very sad. Yeah, this is actually a winning move. Even though it's like, oh, look, you got 2 Lings. How good is this? The 2 Ling kills is nothing compared to losing this SCV. And it's so close and yet so far. He's also not got a wall off, so he's going to have to pull a bunch of SCVs to fight this and to put one on that command center. The Reaper maintaining control at the front is stopping him from taking a third. But now we see Time have to pull workers down to the natural to defend some harassment. And we'll go back to mining. Orbital is on the way. REYNOR's going Roach Warren on 2 base right now on 26 drones. So he's planning a big old Roach pressure here. Oh, he gets a second SCV snipe. Very nicely done. The Drilly boys are like, taste my drill. And they do take them down. Now, you really want to go Banshee here. He doesn't see the Roach Warren yet. But it feels like REYNOR is just kind of like, screw you, I'm going to kill you. And I don't know if this is the best way to play. I feel like Time can really just turtle up. He's like, dude, well, you're not even trying to take a third. Like, I saw no lair there. I saw no lair. I saw not many drones in the main. He's got to have a good idea that Banshee is the right thing to do. And the starport will be landing immediately. As long as he doesn't drop any mules in the main, he's going to have Hellions to defend the Lings, of which there's only slow Zerglings. And he's going to have a Banshee to deal with the Roaches. REYNOR has to take a third and go back to droning. Now, it's not a crazy commitment. It's, well, 9 Roaches. I mean, that's a pretty big commitment. Especially these Hellions just going to clean the Zerglings up. SCVs should probably stay on the low ground because he's already oversaturated. Get a little bit of extra mining. But they'll have to pull up in the near future anyway. Reaper Hellion comes forward, finds the Roaches. 4 Hellions on top of the ramp. The Roaches really can't shove in there efficiently. 4 Hellions on top of a ramp with the Banshee firing. And then also the Widow Mines as well is pretty nice. Time does leave an SCV outside. That kind of sucks. That SCV will go down. Not long for this world. Well, the Roaches got here before the Banshee popped. I didn't think that would be the case, but the Banshee will focus down the Ravager, and that's very important. Having that extra damage output is huge. The Roaches try to get in. They do kill 4 SCVs. Oh, but the Widowmines are going to take this out. And that is a shutdown, that is. Widowmine does take a bit of splash damage from the first Banshee. Overlord actually tanks the other one, so that's kind of unfortunate for Time. That was actually a very good Overlord usage, and there's nothing to shoot that Overlord down just yet. Hellion Reaper taking forever to kill these units, man. Hellion Reaper feels so good against Lings and drones, and when it comes to hitting Roaches, it's like you're shooting paintballs at them, man. You're like, Sarge, did we forget to load up the real ammo? These training rounds, you know, it's like, oh. Third command center into 3 barracks, SCVs and mules. Reynor's back up to 42 drones. So look, he's winning this game, guys. No, I'm kidding. It's playable from here for Reynor. I wouldn't say he's massively ahead. I think he can still drone all right. But there will be 2 cloaked banshees harassing. He's got a good queen count. Well, only 4 actually, and he's not injecting his main or his third right now. He's just having to build spores. As long as the banshees don't throw themselves away, as long as Time's patient and just kind of calmly moves between the bases, he could do well. And he's just got to focus on SCVs and depots more than anything. Just light harassment, maintaining pressure to slow Reynor's next step down. Just don't throw any units away is the key. Look at that. That was real nice control. 2 drones going down. And look, just pull back. No need to dive in here. Even just taking up station between the bases. Even killing an extractor is annoying. That's essentially a drone kill. He's going to have to plus the 25 mineral cost of the extractor itself. And when he's not looking, potentially grab a drone here or there. Banshees are gonna, oh, get out, run away, Time. Time staying a little bit too deep there, going a bit too hard. But he's into 5 Marines, Stim, and a tank at the time. No engineering bays. Oh no, there we go. 1-1 upgrades do start for him. 42 SCVs versus 55 drones. Worker count looking very nice for Reynor now. That's a healthy difference. Unfortunately for Reynor though, the tech is quite late. So he doesn't have roach speed started just yet. He's just got carapace. Second Evo's a little bit behind. This should be a pretty even game in the mid game when things balance out, but not as much creep control as normal. He's going to try and rectify that. This Banshee, you don't want to throw your life away. Get a drone or 2 is all right, but look how quick Reynor is on his pulls. He won't lose a single drone. If he spots you, he'll just do spore tricks, pull his workers away. It's very hard to do direct damage to Reynor. Third command center is here as well. Hellions, Marines, and tanks coming forward. 4th and 5th barracks on the way on the low ground. You usually expect an armory after the 4th and 5th barracks. You can see that times out automatically, so you build that in the next 20-30 seconds. It'll allow you to start 2-2 pretty quickly. There we go. Armory does go down. Double drop finds an Overlord. Free kills are good kills. Supply blocks have been consistent, yet they've been small. Like in that, like he's only supply blocked for a few seconds. Definitely you can see Gary building depots. If Bruce keeps building depots as well, I think Time should be in a good spot. He's also building tanks against 1-1 Roach, which is very good. You got to make sure you don't die to Reynor's 1-1 Roach. If you see him droning his 4th, you can maybe afford to be a little bit more aggressive. But even right now, Hellions on the north plus Marines on the south. A little bit derpy there, unloading those Marines into the Roaches. Hellions are going to dive in, though. This is surprising. You don't expect 4 Hellions after how this early game went to be driving in. Thought they would have been active earlier, personally. I thought those Hellions would have been active with the Banshees at the same time, but they didn't take advantage of that window. 5 drones pulling back, Marines coming in. Maybe focus a Roach and run away. Yeah, I think he got only 1 Roach there for maybe 1 or 2 Marines. It's an okay trade. So he's trying to build these depots to stall out the advance of any Roaches and Ravagers trying to get in range. As long as he's sieged up in a central location, Reynor will struggle to kill him. He'll struggle to find an angle, but as the Terran, you don't really want to commit to one big central fight until you're closer to 2-2 and a big maxed out army. At that point, you've got combat shields, stim, concussive shells, marauders in the mix. And what happens is you end up with this ball of very small units that clump up a lot and do crazy splash damage. Whereas the Roaches are chunky, shorter range. They don't attack as fast. And they're much slower to deal their damage. They all get kind of stuck behind each other. Roaches are good in small skirmishes. Once you get to a giant battle, the ranged firepower of the Marine Marauder, the fact that they get combined and shoot all at once, and that the tanks do massive splash, is going to be a game changer. So Time has the better composition right now. Reynor can try to go Broodlords. He can try to tech up to Banelings and swap into melee, but he's not doing that. And that kind of scares me for him, because he's almost maxed. He's going to go Hive. I think he's just going to have to go Hydroden and Lurkers. The problem Reynor always has is Reynor Tech. For those who don't know, Reynor Tech is a term that I've coined recently. It basically means anytime you build your tech 2 to 3 minutes later than you should, that's Reynor Tech timings. That's Reign Tech is you make your hive and then you start your Hydra Den and then your Lurker Den and then a minute later you start your Lurker upgrades. Because Reynor, he's very good at hanging in the mid game and sometimes to his detriment. In a game like this, you're sitting maxed on roaches. You don't have an attack timing. Get it. Where's the Hydra Den? Where's the Lurker Den? Where's the Spire? The Hydra Den only starts now. It's not too bad. That's actually way better than I normally expect from him. He'll be able to start the Lurker Den pretty soon after the hive is done. Still going to be a massive delay on his upgrades. Burrowing Claw. Oh, Tunneling Claw Roaches. And Burrow on the way. That is pretty damn cool. Time wants to start pushing. He's got a big army, but you got to be real careful, man. Oh my god. Oh, he's trying to just do a big spready, but no sieged up tanks. Way too many units inside the medevacs. Time may have got a bit of a boner here. Oh, he's still taking an okay fight, but this was just before 2-2 finished for both sides. And Time does end up cleansing that army. And you know what? It forces Reynor to remax on roaches, so that's not too bad. That's actually not too bad. And look at this, he's picking up the tanks. Time with the Killer Instinct. He's just going to try and kill him. He says, you don't have Ravagers right now. You can't really jump on these. Tries to bile it, but oh, real patient on the siege up is Mr. Time. Oh, but the Ravagers coming in from the north. Okay, I don't think Time can kill him now. I think Reign is held. Still got one tank in the back, but that bile says no, no. There we go. Gonna have to pull back. Time does have a fourth base behind us. He doesn't need to be all in this situation. He just feels like he's got an advantage. And you know what? With the medevacs, maybe he does. He's going to take out that Spore. He can always just pick up and pull away. So he could definitely out-micro Reynor. But because he's wounded and his medevacs are low, he does have to be careful here. Good micro, though. 6-range Marauders with concussive shells versus 4-range Roaches. You can see the agility of Time's army. Ooh, as long as he doesn't let his medevacs get hit by bile. His tanks have not sieged behind this. His fourth base is up. Turret is about to finish, guys. Reynor, don't go up there. Don't go up there! He got a missile turret in there! Ah, don't do that. Well, the army is chasing the Roach Ravager, so it might work. If he just raises the wall, he'll be okay. Reynor there does unburrow the Roaches, takes out a turret. There's another tank up there. He's going to unburrow on that bad boy. Meanwhile, on the south side, this army looks like the Liberator gets biled down. The tank does survive. The Roaches are getting chased back behind this. Lurker Den. There we go. That's that Reynor timing I was talking about, guys. The Lurker Den starting at 12 minutes into the game. Very late on that, but does it matter? He is causing some harassment? I mean, yeah, it definitely matters. What am I talking about? Time's in a great position. His fourth base is established. He's got 3-3 way ahead. Lurker and Viper Tech is miles away. I mean, a couple of Infestors to try and stall out that advance might have been nice. Dark likes to do that as an in-between if your Lurkers aren't quick. But the Lurker Tech is so late. Lurkers and Vipers are on the way now, though. That is important. That is really big. That's such a brutal tech switch. And with no Ghost Tech on the way, no 5th Command Center, it's not like Time is super well set up for the late game. I would like to see Time go multi-drop right now, because I think Reign is still acting scary at the front. But this is like 6 dudes with muskets who are threatening the US military. Yeah. It's not exactly like... This is not a threat to be taken seriously, guys. You can go drop the top. The other half of the army can go drop the bottom. It's definitely a situation which could go awry. There is only 5 barracks still, but he's got 2 factories, 5th Command Center on the way. Time's just like, hey, who needs extra production? Let's focus on the economy, and I like it. I think Command Centers are really important to give you that longevity. This is a giant bio army, but the Lurkers have finally morphed, and just in time. Their Lurker range will finish in a few seconds. They will be able to hold this ramp. Oh, hold fire Lurkers? Oh, pull back, pull back. Okay. Does take 1 or 2 big volleys, but nothing too bad. Tunneling Claw Roaches going across the map. The turret will block that. You can see Time rotating around the south side. He does not know about this base in the top. Ooh, the Roach is going to try and unburrow. The Liberator really helping out, especially with the help of these Marauders. Doesn't even stim them initially, but still kills most of those Roaches. Doom Drop! Vipers are going to be big, though. Blinding Cloud on the tanks could be massive. Oh, he tries to stim forward and focus the Lurkers. Does Time. A bit of a spready from him. Forcing Reynor up into this main is devastating. He's already taken out the Hydra Den, and the spawning pool is looking exposed, as is the Hive. Roaches are trying to run by. They ain't finding jack just yet. The Hive goes down. Time has really found an opening here. Remember, he has chosen to play on the EU server. REYNOR has the ping advantage, but Time has some killer instinct in these games. Yes, he's going to lose some units, but he redrops the low ground. He is continuing the aggression. 6 SCVs do go down at home, but the SCVs and the Bio Rally should be able to handle that eventually. REYNOR's trying to be slippery and do what he can with those roaches. You can see, though, there's no turret in vision range. The 4th base goes down. The hive goes down. REYNOR back to 3 bases, and he's only on 2-2 versus 3-3. Time doing a fantastic job. And I think now you start to see what I was talking about minutes ago with the REYNOR tech timing. The Lurkers were out just a bit too late. Those Vipers should have been intercepting those drops way earlier, but it's the delay on the tech. REYNOR is so good if you scrap with him in the mid game, but Time made a mature decision to turtle up and just say, yeah, I'm not really going to risk anything except a few drops until I'm maxed. And when he did go for the fight, it wasn't even pretty. His tanks weren't sieged at all, but REYNOR was not able to contest him in that fight due to just the raw number of Terran units. Double drop up the north, taking a 5th base. REYNOR's still being annoying. Liberator's tanks are spread, but the natural, oh, REYNOR's out positioned him here. No sensor tower on the bottom side, so he doesn't see this army coming. He's got a tank sieged in range. If he can hold that wall and siege these tanks up, he'll be okay. Abduct say, siege what tanks, buddy? EMP lands on one of the Vipers. His tank will siege, but the Roach is going to get in on top of that real quick. The wall has been breached. He's going to have to attack through the Lurkers. Time is not happy about this. Oh, he's going to have to pull back up his main ramp. The Bio is getting ravaged. Meanwhile, Bio in the north side running into a Hentacle forest. REYNOR giving him a good old piece of the Hentacle to the face. Oh, like a big old bag of tentacles. A terrible, terrible turn of events here. REYNOR was way, way behind in this game, but he outpositioned Time just once, and the power of Lurkers. If Lurkers get between your bases, it's just like in PvT. If the siege tanks outposition you, it all crumbles so very quickly. I'm going to go back a minute and show you what happened movement-wise and the lack of map awareness. Time let his guard down for a moment here. Let me show you. So Time splits off a double drop to the north. I don't know if he starts repairing his medevacs, but he definitely should. And he just doesn't know this army's down here. If you look at his vision, it's just in the dark. And he's like, that's cool, I'm taking a 5th, I got a tank and a lib, we're all good. And you're always focused on, I got to defend here, and I got to defend here. And often in the late game, you forget that your natural is your most exposed point as a Terran player. And his army moves north. These 2 Roaches say, hey, distraction! Hello, sir, distraction. And even just pulling him that little bit further north. Oh, absolutely beautiful position. REYNOR gets up in between his bases. The few tanks he has all get abducted, and he breaches the wall way too early. Time needed to raise this wall, siege these tanks up here much earlier, and maybe flank some Bio around the left side to flank from down that ramp as well. Beautiful positioning by REYNOR. Gets the 2-1 lead. That one slipped away from him there, but Time, he's going for a gas first on Stargazers. I like it. And you know why? Because his opponent swapped to Protoss, the dirty boy. Up 2-1, swapping to Protoss. He does not like playing Zerg on Stargazers. The dirty, dirty lad. He's going to be playing some Protoss. Now, obviously, Time knows he played Protoss. You can't just change. You have to tell your opponent. REYNOR asked me earlier, he's like, can I change race? And I was like, yes, but you have to tell them. You can't just do it on the countdown. You have to, and once you tell them, you need to give them as much time to prepare as they need. If they need a few minutes to rethink their build, we give it to them, because otherwise, you know, it's the equivalent of being like, I'm a really good StarCraft player. I play random on the ladder and never tell my race and proxy racks or 12 pool every game. And you're like, oh, that's not being really good at StarCraft. I mean, it's your right to do it if you want. Just don't have an inflated view of what that means about your skill level, you know? Oh, REYNOR gets the kill. Oh, bloody bastard. REYNOR, you dirty boy, you. Factory does go down before the command center. Second gas goes down as well. This is disgusting. REYNOR with a very good start. And REYNOR loves to play Phoenix Colossus. On the other hand, his TVP... he lacks powerful aggressive timings. He's way too passive. He really plays Protoss the way an off-racer thinks like, oh, you just can't touch Protoss players. Their defense is so good. Now, he sometimes changes it. He has evolved his play over the last few months. That was kind of Maybe that's an outdated view. I should give him a bit more credit. His Protoss is legitimately very, very good. It's just when he plays like I give him 0% chance. If he was to play a best of 7 versus Beyond, I'd be surprised if he takes a map in PvT. That's the thing is a Terran player is just very solid, good at movement, good at denying map vision, and just poking and prodding until they find an opening. REYNOR likes to be really greedy, get 5 bases, get 20 gateways, and then swarm over them. He's going to play Robo. Interesting. Interesting. He might play the old 2-base Colossus opening. Could try for a Warp Prism, harass himself as well. For those who don't know, swapping between races is incredibly hard. StarCraft, it rests on tiny little edges. And you can be quite good with your off race, but it is very frustrating because most players who try to off race at a high level tend to die to consistently making small, silly mistakes. It feels like, you know, they're like, or they encounter a situation that they just haven't got experience with. And the more experienced players of that race all know the counter to it, but you just don't. And you're like, oh, really? What am I even meant to do here? So it can be a very frustrating experience. Now, there are 2 Hellions moving out across the map, a Medevac and a 3rd Hellion about to come out. So it's hallucination for the early scout into a Robo. He's going to full wall off with 2nd and 3rd gateway and a shield battery and a battery in the main. He's definitely looking to be in a pretty solid position defensively against Time's incredibly uneconomic 1-base build. I think this is a genius way to respond to this. I actually feel like this is a terrible opening for Time because it's been scouted. I think REYNOR might be able to get a massive advantage here. He's going to boost in. The Hellions are unable to click inside the base, guys. And he's going to fight away from the batteries. Yeah, the problem... Oh, REYNOR with such a smart counter here. The Marines do take out some of the units. Hellions are in. Hellions are in. The Marines will kill another Stalker. Okay, he's going to get some damage. Okay, maybe I called it a bit too early there. I thought this wasn't going to get much at all, but he's actually going to get at least 8 or 9 probes. And good call to just save those Hellions. Keep the threat alive. Kills 8 workers. REYNOR's still on 36 versus 25, though. My God, the man knows how to take a punch. The full wall off and just defending like that, like this is actually spectacular. This build for REYNOR loses 8 workers. He's still in a good spot. But the Hellions got something to say about that. Ooh, he gets 1 too. The shield battery. Good healing there. Medevac up in the main. There is a shield battery there as well, so it looks like the Hellions are done for. And the Hellion's going to rotate around. Medevac might go down to the Stalker as well. Does boost out of there, and the Hellion will be going down. Great defense overall by REYNOR. And Time, he's going Cloak Banshees now, but the Observer sees it. Does he cancel the Colossus? Yeah, he cancels his Colossus to make another Observer. But Cloak also got cancelled, and he makes a Raven. So very cute play here by Time. He's still so far behind economically. He does start a 3rd command center, so he's going to be able to drag his butt into a longer game. But damn, this is I still think a very solid worker lead. You just got to look at that worker lead and say to yourself, that's a good income lead. You know, that's massive. He can take a 3rd base as well. He'll be good. But this 3rd base is terrible. So something Protoss players have started to learn recently in this matchup is this is the worst 3rd base of all time. Unless you mine this out and control the Watchtower, it is a terrible area because the Terran can drop here, here, and here. And you can't really control it unless your army can control the center and the Watchtower. So this 3rd base is one of the most droppable bases in the game. And I've seen REYNOR himself go mass Phoenix Colossus and have 4 medevacs just drop through the Colossus, unload enough bio to kill them all, and just win the game. He still gets picked apart on it. And this is a game where he's relying on what I assume will be Blink up next. And I do really criticize it simply because I think the Terran players have figured out that this base is so droppable. If Time does what Beyond does on this map, I think he'll be able to pick REYNOR apart. Engineering base, 2nd and 3rd barracks are coming up. It's going to be a long time till Time can do any real push. He takes out a pylon. There's no blink. Twilight Council's not being used. I do like this army up here trying to intercept the drop. So he knows that Time will probably pull back and try to just click that to unload on the Watchtower. Time very quick there, does pull away. Banshee on the right side, unable to really get much damage. Units lost tab is in favor of the Terran by quite a bit. But the supply is awesome for REYNOR. He's getting a Forge. Blink now finally starts up. Colossus are on the way. He's only got 1 Observer, and it's on the backside in case the Banshee cloaks. He does not know that got cancelled, of course. Has to play safe against that. And here we go. 2 bases are full, so at least the worker count stabilized now, where Time's no longer far behind in that. And he's actually going bio-mine, and mostly marine focused for now. Stim and shields will be kicking in about the 8-minute mark, maybe 8 minutes 20, something like that. So he'll definitely be able to start getting out there and roaming the map soon. The scary thing is usually if a Colossus army can jump on you, but REYNOR, well, he's going to be a while till he has charge. And Stalker Colossus on its own, not the most robust force. A couple sentries will offer some real strength with Guardian Shield and Force Field. And these 3 siege tanks. Tank and a bunker covering on the backside. He's going to move out to the front is Time. I don't know who I favor in this game. REYNOR's supply still looks incredibly healthy, so the raw numbers may just mean that he overwhelms here, but there's no Warp Prism with this force. This is a poking army more than anything else. And that Banshee spots it, which means Time's going to stay very defensive. And there's no 4th base on the way yet for REYNOR either. If REYNOR takes a 4th, I think he can just macro up, double forge, and out macro Time in the long run. But if he doesn't actually kind of expand that tech, then I do see Time getting in a good spot. The Zealots on the Watchtower, so this is not a good move for Time, I don't think. 8 Stalkers, that's almost enough to one-shot a medevac. Not quite, but almost. Oh man, he's flying right through the Zealot. He's just going to boost straight across, but the Stalkers are there. Good pullback, good pullback. For Time to commit there without an army elsewhere on the map would be a ridiculous move. He clears up the Watchtower, goes back. Oh, here we go. Big army coming forward for REYNOR. Get out of there. Oh! Oh, he interference matrices, but no, he doesn't have enough bio to punish. That was a bad move by Time there. Time gets a bit excited. Does lose his Widow Mines. He's got more units coming forward, but still the numbers are kind of scary. On the other hand, REYNOR has not been quick to reinforce the Zealots. He's actually got so many Stalkers and Cannons and Batteries on the edge that I don't mind the way he's doing this. But I still feel like you want to almost open those minerals yourself. The moment you get rid of this push, I think you open those minerals as REYNOR, and then you never give up the Watchtower for the rest of this game. These tanks are in a really nice position. Time does see the army. He's going to try and lift to the high ground. The tanks will get taken out. But, oh, recall. He's going to recall the Colossus into battery overcharge. Nice recall by REYNOR. Oh, man, that was actually a really good defense. The Raven and 4 medevacs get out, though, so he didn't lose too much stuff. Behind it, 4th Command Center, Ghost Academy are all on the way. He's getting extra gases as well, so he is going to be macroing to the next stage, but no armory, no second engineering bay. Meanwhile, the second forge has now started up. Time's Banshee. Looks like it should get hunted down in the near future. 4th base fully saturated. REYNOR. It's only a matter of time till he takes a 5th and a 6th. He's going to get out of control on the gateways in the next few minutes. Of course, he needs a second forge first. Time's still got a big army out there. Marine gets killed on the Watchtower. Observer does see this army. Ooh, okay. No, he sees that REYNOR's pulled home. He was threatening the base trade there in case REYNOR kept pushing forward. As soon as he sees the army, Time does pull back. Looks like the Banshee is still alive, flying through the back of the natural into the main. Might actually kill a bunch of probes. REYNOR seems to not have noticed it. Oh, Time should not be out here. Staying on the map a bit too long. Oh no, this is a disaster. He loses 2 full medevacs and a bunch of units on the ground, and the Banshee gets F2'd home as well. And now he's dead. I think REYNOR's got him. REYNOR has got a giant army advantage. There's no Vikings out yet. Well, 4 Vikings apparently. 4 Vikings in 1 tank. Time needs to pull back and bait out these units and spread them out. He cannot go forwards. And oh no, there's so much splash. The Archons, the Colossus are roasting through Time's entire force. And we see the power of REYNOR's Protoss. That disgusting opening with the wall off the 3 gates, the Robo. He just had so much money for so long and Time was not able to get momentum. He may defend that army, but he is at half the worker count. And REYNOR has got more and more units coming to the front line. Second Robo DT Shrine. Using the maps here to try and swap around and get a map advantage on the map, which he doesn't like playing as Zerg. It's a dirty way of picking, but it is a very good way of playing. And if you put in the practice to actually be elite level at 2 races, you can do it. The dangers of leaning so hard into aggression and having your entire opening scouted, I do think Time was a little bit shaky in his build choice at the start of the game. Really felt like he was in a situation where he wasn't quite sure what he was committing to. Now, there's only 1 disruptor, so Time is not dead yet. But Stalker harassed in the back. The bunker can try to defend. Could A move the SCVs, unload the bunker and go for it. Widow Mines plus these units should be able to do pretty well. Ooh, okay, still going to attack into the planetary. Big brave boy, Bio Squad on the run by. He's going to take out a bunch of those Zealots, EMP on most of their shields, and they all go down. The Stalkers do go down at home as well. REYNOR, oh my god, I was talking like he'd finish the series off. If he loses these probes, or this, and the Nexus is actually way more important. REYNOR always has way too many probes. Anyone who's watched his PvT, PvZ knows he always has an extra base. You can kill 20 workers and he'll still be at max saturation. Look at this, there's no Stalkers left. Most of them have died. Oh my god, Time's back in the game. He's still down 32 workers. So if REYNOR can just drop a Nexus, drop another Nexus, get back to mining, he'll be good. But right now, he is in a bit of a rough spot. 2 Disruptors, 11 Stalkers, 2 Archons. No Prism on the map. Some decent Observer coverage. He's got one on that north side still. But Time's got Ghosts. His +2 armor finishes. He's already got +2 attack, so he's even on upgrades. And he's building 4 SCVs at a time. He's saying, I'm happy to play a longer game, man. I will not go down without a fight. REYNOR is somewhat famous for attacking without warp prisms sometimes as well. I think if he sets up some pylons and gateways on the edges of the map, he can get away with it a bit more. For now, it's a bit of DT harass up against the guy who's butt naked on turrets. Oh, that's not good, man. If these DTs surprise him, he could just take massive damage. These 3 DTs could be game winners, man. These are the 3 invisible men, the 3 perverts that you definitely don't want sneaking into your backyard, because who knows what they're going to get up to. Turrets start, so he realizes there's a threat of this, but it's a little bit late. The DTs get in and start tearing it up. His army gets jumped on at the front at the same time. REYNOR, always a master of attacking in more than one place at once. Quickly, Time picks up the army, pulls away, but there's a DT in the main, a DT in the natural. I don't think there's a DT in the third. Looks like there's 2 DTs here, in fact. That DT is up to 7 kills. Make it 8, make it 9. Oh my god. Luckily, the planetary should be able to hold its own, but there's still a DT in the main base, and that is a very real problem. A Time who just thought he got back in the game, and he looks so frustrated there. You can see he's not quite on top of it. He's worried about that push coming in the front. He is not dealing with this DT, and this is part of the psychological impact of playing against REYNOR's Protoss, guys. Look at that. He baits the scan, blinks away. A lot of players are more worried about losing to REYNOR's silly off race than they are focused on actually finishing him off in the game. And he is a good enough player, you cannot afford to do that. Now, 8 Disruptors have the Terran pinned in this corner of the map. The Vikings can kill the Observer, but they're not the best ground fighting units. He's going to have to try and spread out and engage this army. Mass repair is needed. Oh, Time a little bit slow on the mass repair. The Disruptor's coming out. He's doing some good spreadies his time, though. Beautiful spreadies from Time. Oh, a big ball lands, taking out 3 or 4 Marauders. The Zealots do break the flank on the left side, but eventually they get held. The Disruptors go down. But Time lost his 4th command center and another 13 SCVs on top of the DT losses. 3-3 might be on the way, but right now Time feels like it is desperation. He needs to go, and he needs to go right now. And I think he's right. He is up 30 army supply. He might be able to win with this army, but Disruptors, battery overcharge, these are scary things to deal with. The first Disruptor shot takes out a Widow Mine. Battery overcharges here. The Stalkers and Disruptors standing strong. Time is not going to be able to just headbutt. Oh, a big Disruptor shot. Meanwhile, Zealots hit him on the backside. Another Disruptor shot lands, and REYNOR there, bringing that game back with the invisible men. Time fought hard, and I really thought he was back into that game. Much like in Game 2, or Game 3 in the series, I did think this was going to be a 2-1 in favor of Time, and then almost even, I guess, a 3-1 there, but bad luck. And REYNOR just a bit too good there. A sneaky race switch. Well played.